Yeah, you say I'm live, but am I? What the hell is going on? If anybody's out there, I apologize, but YouTube's screwing up big time right now. I don't know what the hell is going on. Anybody out there? Trying this again. It's kind of pissing me off. Nope, nobody's here. Great, this is just a big poop hole. Okay, Kenny, you're in. Is everything looking better this time? Is it better? Anybody? What's up with this thing? Okay. Well, that's a first. I've never had to do that. Never had to start it over 3 times. Super convenient. Anyway, we got a rock and rolling. What's up? Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, Terry. I'm glad other people are finally popping in and showing me that this is actually working now. Oh. This is like the first day I've had to just take a slow morning. It's been a long couple weeks with Pomona last week. If anybody didn't make it to Pomona, man, you missed the biggest one yet. For sure, by a long shot. It was crazy. Good morning, Carly. We've got a lot to talk about today that's sort of like superfluous stuff. I was gonna kind of just freestyle this, probably hit on stuff about Pomona and whatnot. So we'll see. First of all, it's been a long time, but I finally got a DM Exotic shirt from Dan and his wife at the show. I've been buying snakes from Dan for a couple years now, so it's about time. Eric Burke sent me this insanely cool coffee mug with a photo of his RPD on there. So I guess it's safe to say I can't give my girlfriend any more crap about her mug collection because mine seems to be growing too. First world problems. I also wanted to give Scott some airtime. Scott Bolter, if you guys have seen Garrett Hartle's recent video talking about how to make the most of a reptile show, at the very end he showed off a machete that Scott had engraved for him. Well, Scott did some for me too, and it's pretty amazing. This is one of those insanely heavy duty, nice hot, cold Arctic glasses. Like, this thing is legit. Scott, you're a good dude with a big heart. Love you, brother. If anybody ever has the chance to meet Scott at a show, he's a big, tall teddy bear. He's a big, quiet dude, and he's an awesome guy. He's also been on Kuska's channel. He did an episode there too, so that was pretty sweet. I feel like there's a digital hangover going on after Pomona. Everyone is just kind of like, too much. Or maybe it's just too early for most people on a Sunday. Maybe there was a big party last night. Oh, I guess there was football. Yeah, there was some playoff football, so. But, the other thing I wanted to talk about was Southeast Carpet Fest that's coming up next month. It's actually coming up in a couple weeks. It's almost here. So you guys have heard me talk about it a lot. Although I'm not able to attend, I am definitely trying to help spread the details for everybody because I think it's worth going. If any of you have ever been to any sort of gathering with reptile people, whether it be a show, a barbecue, or one of these carpet fests, you know how much fun it is. Again, excuse me, you don't need to have carpet pythons to go. It's just kind of a gathering of reptile folks of all kinds. But I wanted to put out the details in full here. I've kind of given the general idea, but with it coming up and the auction being live and a lot of other things, it's high time I give it its true hard due. So here we go. So the Southeast Carpet Fest coming up February 9th. It's at 2 p.m. at Terrestrial and Arboreal in Melrose, Florida, and that's hosted by Cody and Pia Bartolini. So they're very gracious enough to open up their home and their space to allow this gathering to continue in a big way. There are T-shirts available for Southeast Carpet Fest. If you guys are in any of the more groups out there on Facebook, you'll probably see Ian sending stuff all over the place. Ian Bissell of S&J Reptile. There are 6 colors and styles, including like long sleeves. There's a hoodie. They're really, really awesome shirts, and every purchase, that money's going towards USARK. So you get a cool shirt. You get to, support a good cause. And Jeff Frederick, again, did an amazing job with the logo. But don't sleep on that because the T-shirts are going to be done. What's today? Today's the 13th. So you got till the 16th. So you got 3 more days to get your shirts in. So don't wait. Do that. There's some big sponsors for this event, and some wonderful people are helping sponsor this event. And it would be a tragedy not to point that out. So first of all, Forrest and Desiree Fanning of Cold Blooded Cafe and RepTech, they're a big sponsor of this event. They're huge reptile people. They've got a baby on the way, so they're adding to the reptile community. If you guys follow any of their social media, you know what they're about. They love doing conservation and crocodilian work and stuff like that. Awesome rodents. If you guys need feeders, and just all around good people. So that's the first sponsor for Southeast Carpet Fest. The next one is feedersource.com, another really excellent way for you guys to get some good feeders of all kinds, and online sales. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's super convenient. Robin and the team over at Ship Your Reptiles are also supporting this event. And if you guys listen to if you ever hear Ian Bissell talk or Jeff Godbold on Corrales Radio, they're sponsor there too. Ship Your Reptiles is a really awesome company, and there's some good people over there, so they're sponsoring this event as well. And then the folks over at the Herpetoculture podcast, Justin Smith and Jacob Bratz, those guys are also putting in some serious work to help support and sponsor this event too. Now, that's 4 big sponsors right there. By no means does that mean they're done. So if any of you are out there, any businesses, any people are interested in sponsoring, please reach out to Ian. They could always use more sponsors. More support, more help is always good. The Southeast Carpet Fest auction. Now this is all the stuff that's going to, all the money from the auction, not the T-shirts, is going to go to benefit 4 universities that are collectively working together on researching nidovirus. They have over 100 items. There's about 66 posted up there right now. There's like a couple dozen more coming, and they're open to take more donations. So I think last year they had like 60 to 80 items, and this year it's looking like there's going to be like 150 auction items. So we can really raise a ton of money, and there's a ton of opportunities for people to get cool vouchers from some of your favorite breeders, T-shirts. There's perches being donated, gear. I mean, literally everything. Go check it out on Facebook, because Ian Bissell has a big page, like a group of all the photos and things in there. And a lot of people have donated. I've put a voucher in there, and then there's a T-shirt in there as well. So that's open. Don't sleep on that. The auction stuff is a really good way to get some cool stuff and support a cause. You know, you just got your tax return, or it's coming anyway. So I think you can swing it. But if you want to come to the event, you got to go over to the Facebook page for Southeast Carpet Fest. You got to RSVP there. If you are coming, they have politely requested that you bring something rather than charging any sort of admission. Bring some food. Bring something for people to eat, some drinks, something like that. Don't come empty-handed. Just get in touch with Ian before you do, because he's keeping track of everything, so he can kind of tell you what's covered and what isn't. If you are trying to get out there and you need somewhere to stay, there are hotels in Gainesville. Apparently tent camping on site is an option too. That would be pretty rad to do some tent camping, although it might be a little cold out there, but hey, what's life if you're not roughing it, right? They say there's Airbnb in Melrose, Keystone Heights, Gainesville, and others. The Gainesville International Airport's 25 minutes away. Jacksonville's an hour and a half away. Orlando is 2 hours away. And then Friday night, they're going to do a get-together at one of the local Gainesville breweries. So if you're coming into town in Florida on Friday night, definitely get in touch with Ian for that, so you guys can go join and have like a little pre-party deal before the actual event on Saturday. So that was a mouthful, but that was a lot, because this is a big event, a lot's happening, and a lot is going to go down, and it's going to be a friggin' awesome time. I'm super bummed I can't make it, but kind of on the other side of the country, so I don't fly well. Anyway, yeah, that's that. So that's the Carpet Fest shenanigans, and then all the other chapters are coming up too. Southeast is coming up first. Northeast is in June. I think Northwest is tentatively sometime in October, I heard. We're still working on Southwest, and then there's Southern Carpet Fest as well. And then if you go into Morelia, pick of the week, pinned up at the top for everyone who's over in the UK or trying to get out there, they're having one as well. So we've gone international. What's up, Ryan? By the way, Ryan suggested this 8 o'clock brand of coffee, and that's what I've got going today. So I'm almost done with it, though. Okay. I've rambled and there have been no snakes. Should we look at snakes? I've got a lot of stuff going on. We'll just start. Children's pythons. I'm sure y'all have seen me post photos. That female's going belly up and cooking. We're getting some children's python eggs. In fact, later today, I gotta go to the hardware store and get some of the light diffuser and finish up my egg boxes. Popwing carpets. Female is looking good. Let's pull out Dad. He's probably sitting right here anyway. Oh no. Where are you going? Oh, buddy. Don't you dare bite me. Come here, bud. Oh. Oh, we're looking stellar this morning, too. And I still haven't figured out how to not film in pajamas for anybody who was curious. Still can't do it. This dude's gonna hopefully be the father of a clutch. The female is super, super dark right now, getting near her shed. Coiled up on the heat, looking swollen and massive. And this guy's been ignoring food. I don't know if this is showing up in the orange on the camera. It might be. But anyway, she's got big old eggs in her. I palpated follicles in her a while ago. So hopefully this guy will be a dad, and those will be some F1s. Because they're both from the farms. I got them from Stephen Katz worked out a group via Dan Maleri a couple years ago, and these are two animals from that. So those will be some F1 Popwing carpets. I'm not going to lie, though. I'm probably going to keep all of them. It's probably going to be a small clutch. It'll probably be like 8. You probably won't see me post any of those for sale. I'm probably going to keep them all and maybe do some trades with some very close IJ people for some of their animals. But if you're waiting on Popwing carpets and you're hoping to get some from me, I don't know. I might pull an Eric Burke and keep them all. So we'll see. So that's this dude. He's much more orange than the female. So I think phenotypically the babies might be a mix, but we'll see. I'm hoping to get some more orange stuff like him. That would be pretty sweet. He still doesn't want food. He still wants his girl, but she's done. So, all right, you go away now. So that's 2 of the 4 shore pairings I'm expecting eggs from. If any of you were here like a month or 2 ago when we did some pairings with the zebras, I'm sorry if the lighting is bad, but she and the male were pretty much inseparable for a couple weeks. I just didn't even take them apart. They just really liked each other. So I'm hoping to get some eggs from her. She's a little twitchy and dodgy, but I have been able to palpate her. And she definitely has follicles going, so can I trade you some leopard gecko babies, right? I don't have any leopard geckos, man. I don't know what to do with a leopard gecko. She's not liking staring at me. I'll stop breathing in her face. But anyway, that's a zebra to zebra pairing. That's been a goal of mine for a long time. It's nothing crazy or groundbreaking, but if any of you guys know what a super zebra looks like, they're pretty cool in person, especially when you can see an adult. So I think that's been a goal of mine. The Axanthic coastal up here definitely is going to give me some form of eggs, whether they're fertile or not. It's up to her, but she's been locking up with the Axanthic zebra boy, who has just been over here running laps with the super zebra head Axanthic. So I posted that caramel girl. She's full of follicles and eggs. She's gonna give a pre-lay shed in the next couple weeks, I think. So caramel tigers. So here's a cool little thing that I learned from other people, and I've seen it in my animals consistently, is oftentimes the male will just go into shed when the female you've been breeding him with is like done cycling, ovulating, and like if the breeding took or whatever, she'll stop putting out those pheromones. That male's picking them up. He'll start being disinterested. You'll see them not really spending any time together. That's usually a good way to tell when they're kind of done. You can give them a break. Start offering food back to the males usually later on. They don't switch right away, but oftentimes they'll tell you when their female's done. So I was putting that tiger in there, and he was actually not trying to hurt me, which is rare for him because he was so interested in her. And then he was kind of disinterested, and they spent a bunch of time apart, and she swelled up like a balloon. So hopefully we'll get some caramel tigers. That'll be an interesting one. Jungles have been locking up again. I just put them together for fun, but just to make sure. I think they've locked up half a dozen times that I've seen. And I don't know if y'all can see it. This filthy girl right here. That's my albino Darwin. Her and the male head albino have been locking up, and she's all of a sudden like whoosh. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get some albinos. But a lot of these animals are first-time breeders, and if any of you guys have younger animals that are first coming into season, you'll probably see things where they're still figuring it out. So these animals are still figuring it out, essentially, right? But it's their first time. It could go well, but you know, it's not unheard of for first-time breeders to have low fecundity in the clutch, or just low numbers in general. So, I just remembered. So, back to Pomona. Sorry, I bounced around. And DM Exotics. I bought more snakes. If any of you are into Popwins, yeah, they're pretty cool. I got a couple more babies from Dan Malary. He obviously had his Indo shipment and his Malaysia shipment there. Does the male's demeanor change? Yeah. The males really, really want to just like, they don't stop moving. You open their enclosure, they're flying out. They want the females. And then when the females are done, you'll see them sort of lose interest and their activity levels go back down to normal. They're not wrecking their cage, they're not doing laps as much. So yeah, you will see their behavior shift from a disinterested in food, constantly searching for something, to a more settled, back to normal state. Um, so back to Pomona and babies. Dan Malari doesn't always get poplin carpets in, but when he does, he cherry picks them from the farm, and they get females in there, and then they keep them there and breed them there, or females will come in gravid, things like that. I'm not sure all the details, but these are pure, basically imported poplin carpets, and I've had the ones that I just pulled out that are breeding. They're imported, same deal. So I picked up a few for Eric, and so he's got some nice ones coming, and they're not always feeding when you get them to, which is the other thing. That's it's part of the deal with imports. Like, you got to be ready to take them on, and yes, I didn't have the luxury of quarantining them, and yes, they are in the snake room here, and yes, I broke my rules, but you'll also understand that these are babies. They haven't come in contact with any other animals other than Dan, so the risk is low, and they're so small, you would see any issues. But these guys just fed for me last night quite vigorously, like they've always known. But they're beautiful. When they're babies, they still have a lot of red tones to them, and they'll lose that after a couple sheds, and you'll start seeing the browns and the yellows and the oranges and the blacks start taking hold. But they're just amazing, and they're really, really gentle and docile. And there's just, I mean, how could you not want more? This thing is brick red. It's brick red. So Dan had a lot of good phenotypes in that group as far as like pattern. I grabbed a pair of striped animals because I had a striped female come in with my first group that passed away, so I needed to fix that. I don't want to bug them too much because, again, they just ate. I grabbed a pair, and I grabbed a trio for Eric. So I now have 3 pairs of poplins from 3 separate groups. So this will be my import pair, the other import pair that's breeding, and then I have a pair from Emily Stoddard that are half siblings. So this is my little male. So yeah, I bought these under the pretense knowing that they weren't established, they weren't feeding. Dan only had them for a couple weeks. Some of them literally hadn't had their first sheds until they were with him. Where did this come from? Oh yeah. And so that's part of the thing. You kind of have to still put in some legwork. These guys are great. Nice, dude. Dang, Kenny's stepping it up, getting himself some good quality diamonds. Good to hear, man. I, like many people, am unreasonably worried about getting diamonds just because I don't think I would do them justice with my setup quite yet. But one day. One day, one day. Oh my goodness, I love this little girl. Oh, dude, use it up. Note cards are super awesome. Carly, I offered these guys, I just pulled out frozen thawed fuzzies and made sure they were really hot. That's the thing. So I put them in Ziploc bags to keep them dry, because oftentimes once they're wet, you'll dilute the scent no matter how much you try and like pat them down. And then I just replenished the water in the bucket and just made them super hot. What up, Justin? What's going on, Family Jewels? I didn't have to scent them. I offered all 5 of them these fuzzies last night. 3 of them grabbed them like they've been doing it their whole lives. And then the other 2 showed interest, but I just left it in, and then they were gone an hour later. So, fantastic. I'm not going to show you guys Eric's snakes. Those are his animals. You know, it's part of the deal. But I wanted to, since this girl's not in her tube. Oh my, sorry, honey. Look at the red. Look at how red she is. Good morning, Jim. I'm in love. I'm absolutely in love. She's striped. She's very light in color. She's red. She eats. It's never going to get old. And I'm really excited for the chance at producing some F1s this year. So, yeah, these things are great. Very, very wonderful animals. So typically when I get these little babies in, I set them up and I set them and I forget them, right? So I put them in their tubs. Everybody got the same setup. As you can see, it's just a simple disposable deli cup water dish, paper towel roll for a hide. They're in a nice little rack. Hey, get back here. And when I bring them in, I set them up and I leave them alone. Like, I don't even check on them for like 4 days. Just let them be. Even if they spill their water, even if they go swimming, do that. It just helps. They just seem to get established when they can just be left to explore their space and kind of settle in. Congrats, Jeff. Breadlier, awesome. I really want to film mine later, but one of the things, if anybody knows, Breadlie is during the winter, they get really dark. So this is my female. I'm not sure how well this is showing up. The lighting's probably overexposing it. But she's a great animal. She just is really dark. So right now she's not in tip-top shape as far as like putting her on camera. She doesn't look her best, you know. It's the winter. I haven't fed her in 2 months. She looks dark. So not like any of the photos that I've been able to take of her. I have to get some size on them. Will you have to treat for parasites or no? Because so typically, when these Popwins come in, they're free of parasites because they haven't been around long enough to contract anything. I've never had anything show up in their fecals. When I got my first group in, I ran multiple fecals on them and isolated them for months, and nothing came back ever. I'll probably just keep an eye on things, but I don't anticipate internal parasites whatsoever at this age. They haven't eaten anything, so they haven't consumed anything to transfer parasites over, really. So at this age, coming from Dan, who's an impeccable and clean, reputable breeder, you can be very assured that that animal is healthy. So, but you know, I am taking a calculated risk, just popping them right in here. Mostly it's because I don't have open quarantine space for 5 baby carpets right now. I've got to redo stuff. It's a little cold, so I felt like it was worth. I was justifying the minor risk by bringing them in here to keep them warm because it's been cold. So yeah, Jeff, that Breadlie, she's 2. I have a pair from Stephen Katz. They are Casey Lazick line, so some of the older line stuff. And yeah, everybody's been cycling in this room, so I just didn't really feed them the last couple months, and they're handling it really, really well. Yeah, I'm hoping these guys grow well. They're big, robust babies already. You know, there were some that hadn't had their first shed. I went through all of them that Dan brought in and sexed them for them, and they were good, healthy looking babies for sure. So I know he had like 20 at the show, and I don't know how many he brought back. It was only a few, but yeah, they're I wish I could have got more, but you know, only have so much space, right? So, and then What else? Picked up an angry little coastal produced by my friend Travis by way of a local gentleman who wasn't um, wasn't having much success taming this animal down. And I was actually there at the time he purchased this snake. So if any of you are ever curious about that, oh, hold on, pause. Ryan, what did you say? I'm so interested in what. Yeah, they're pretty sweet. So if any of you have ever dealt with like really grumpy carpet pythons and trying to tame them down, you know that sometimes it just doesn't happen. But all the time, you're going to be getting bit along the way. What I try and do is, I'm not worried about getting bit, but I don't want this animal to get to that point because I don't want that to be encouraged. But she's going to bite me anyway here. That's just how it is with her. She's not very nice. But oftentimes if you're not moving stuff around their face, you're not wiggling fingers around, you're just kind of letting them be. If you don't elicit any strikes, you can work on it, but this animal just has a personality for biting. But look at this animal's face. This thing is wicked. Is she defensive? Yes. She's also a bit aggressive, actually, or she was when I was first picking her up. I expected it, and she was just chewing on me the whole time for no reason, just biting my sleeve, biting everything. But she's got, there you go. She's got wicked white markings just like right down the nose. She's bad. Look at that. Yeah. This snake's going to be wicked as an adult. So this is a coastal animal. From a caramel female to what could have been one of two males. Either, let's see, it was an M-Pen caramel sort of striped animal as the main pair, but then there was also an axanthic male that got in there. So, woo! Easy, hon. As long as you're not peeing, we're good. So, given the pattern and how she doesn't have any of the influence of the M-Pen, yeah, Carly, Travis is living legless. He's a good friend of mine. He's an awesome dude. He's got awesome stock from mutton and a lot of excellent phenotypes and some good quality caramels and stuff. So in a few years, we'll prove this girl out and see if she is in fact het axanthic, because then we'll know which dad sired that clutch, or at least this egg from that clutch, because as we know, there is such a thing as dual sired. But this is another animal that I brought in and just left her alone, and just kind of let her chill out. I haven't even offered her food. She's been here for almost 2 weeks now. She's just settling in. She's a great eater. I just figured she needs to chill. Yeah, Ryan, Travis's bull snakes are insane. I've seen that every time I go visit him. Those are like what we spend the most time with. He's got some patternless stuff, some Miami axanthic stuff, some red stuff. I mean, just he literally has every single bull snake that I could have imagined and then some. So, and he produces them really well too. Aye, bite one. Little stinker. She spooks herself, which is usually what happens. They get going and they fall and they stress and then they flail and then they turn around and bite whatever's nearest. So as long as she's not peeing on me, that's good. That's gross. I hate when they get stressed and they do that. She just wants to move. So anyway, I wish I had the chance at Pomona to do more filming. I literally didn't film at all. I just didn't. Oh, come on. I didn't have any time. Yeah. Well, there's plenty of good bull snake breeders out there for sure. Um, yeah, I didn't. Oh, you did pee. Gross. Oh, here we go. Trash can. Pardon the absence, folks. She's going to the bathroom. Oh, don't you do that. Ugh. She's like a squirt gun. That's gross. Yeah, she definitely eats well. Yeah, what I was saying. I didn't have enough time at Pomona to walk around and go film. I really wanted to go say what's up to Todd, and Carrie was out there at least on Saturday. I didn't even get to go see people. Like, none. I was just working. Is that a carpet or scrub? She acts like both, man. Alright, you're gross. Go away. Yeah, I really wanted to cruise around and check out some tables and talk to Todd and film some carpet pythons and show off the carpets at the show, and just didn't happen. Well, so Sunday, yeah, I was filming and doing all sorts of the macro shots and whatnot. And Saturday, I was there for most of it, and then I was just too hungover and had to disappear and go take a nap and come back a couple hours later. I went too hard Friday night. So Saturday was shot. Sunday was working. It was a busy weekend. I've only been to the Southwest Carpet Fests, all of them thus far, because they used to be my neck of the woods. I haven't had a chance to travel out and make it up north or back east or to Texas or anything. I would love to. I just don't have the budget for plane flights and things like that. There is hope. I don't want to say too much, because obviously nothing's set in stone, but I might have a chance to get back into animal keeping in zoos. So, pursuing that, and if that does happen, I'll let you guys know more as we figure it out. But if that does happen, we may have to change the live stream because chances are I won't have normal weekends off. Morelia Mondays would stay, but the live stream would probably be a random day during the week. Because if any of you know anybody who works in zoos or in animal care, nobody has Saturday, Sundays off, because that's just not how it works. So, there'd be some changes, but it'd be worth it. So, I'm going to give you all a couple more minutes. If you guys have any questions, fire away. I'm going to do some more filming. Got some more. Thank you. I appreciate that. Got some more filming to do for Morelia Mondays. Got plenty of animals to showcase. It's an interesting time of year, so. Ever think I'll get into scrubs? Yes, if I get a house, I would love some scrubs. My girlfriend and I are looking at houses in the area. We're looking at what we need to save. She wants me to have a garage so I can do that. She's super supportive of all of this. She just would prefer its own designated space, an outbuilding or a converted garage, whatever, because we want to have a guest room where people can come visit. We want to have an office so we can leave the computers and printers and stuff set up, and that way I can have like a photo corner for the animals and do that stuff. So Family Jewels, brightest jungle carpet. I would grab her and pull her out and show you, but she's in there breeding. I love that snake. She's bright yellow and black. So she's in there with the striped male, making me some more beautiful babies. So yeah, a lot of carpet pythons coming up this year. I think, so I've got the one Where did she come from? She came from Psychotic Exotics. So she's from an Australian addiction line animal paired with a Mike Hamilton animal that Todd and Carrie have been working with for quite some time. And I got her as a yearling some years ago, and she produced a clutch of eggs for me 2 seasons ago. And this year we're doing some striped jungles with a different striped male. I did some years prior. And then that male unfortunately ended up passing away while I was at a show. And so I've since acquired a new male who's been breeding. So hopefully some good stuff that'll have some ivory Van de Venter line in the striping. So it's going to be some pretty sweet animals. I'm going to have a hard time letting those go. But she produces 16 eggs in a clutch, so can't keep all of them. So inevitably there will be jungles for sale, hopefully. So I'll close out again. Look up Southeast Carpet Fest. Please go check out the Facebook page. Hit up Ian Bissell. It's a good cause. There's a lot of good stuff. And then as for me, Children's Python should be coming this year. Some F1 pop wins. Zebra to zebra pairing. Axanthic zebra to Axanthic coastal. Darwins and albinos. Striped jungles. Caramels and tigers and all the above. I'm really, really hoping to hit 7 or 8 clutches, and I want to bring some animals out to shows and have more variety to offer, because I've only been able to do 1 or 2 clutches a year for the past few, and now all these animals I've been sitting on growing up are finally producing. So I really appreciate everyone staying tuned, growing this support. This has been a lot of fun. Even if we have to shift days of the week, I hope you guys can stick with us. I'll keep you updated as we figure that out. Yeah, you guys need to go check out the auction stuff. It's gonna get pretty crazy. Those Floridians know how to do it well, and if any of you know Ian Bissell, he goes ham on auctions and promotion. He does a great job. So anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out, chit chatting carpets. I hope this wasn't too boring of one. It's a little different. Yeah, hope you guys like the Morelia Monday segment, and have a wonderful Sunday. Adios.